take a shot every time I say irresponsible in this video. You will be blackout drunk by the end of it, guaranteed. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have something that I'd like to talk to you about today, and that is TikTok user Nadine Eskridge's recently deleted TikTok video about their experience on testosterone. Now, if you are on trans TikTok, specifically trans mask TikTok, you've probably seen clips of this video floating around. Like I said, the original complete full video has been deleted, so it is no longer available in its entirety, but like I said, there's tons of clips up on TikTok of other trans TikTokers reacting to it, talking about it. But I decided that instead of just making a TikTok video about it, I'd like to make a full-length YouTube video about it because I have a lot of thoughts about what this person said in their video and how it could potentially affect the transgender community, specifically the transmasculine community, and how dangerous it can be for videos like this that are full of such negligent misinformation can be just in general. I'm not sure of their pronouns, so for the sake of this video, I'm just going to be using they, them, or Nadine to address them. Basically, this TikTok user Nadine posted a video talking about their experience on testosterone, but they phrased the information in a way that was very harsh. It was very much like, this will happen to you if you go on testosterone. These are things that you need to look out for before you start T. Before I start getting too worked up, let's just go ahead and start rolling the clip, and I'll show you guys the video.
This video, what I want to talk about, the bad parts of testosterone. I want you to be educated before you take that next step, because your doctors aren't going to tell you, trans people on TikTok aren't going to tell you.
So the first point in their video that I have a problem with is obviously the fact that Nadine says, I'm going to tell you guys about the dark side of testosterone, the things that your doctors won't tell you about, or the things that trans people on TikTok won't tell you about, which frankly is just like a blatant lie, because as a transgender person who's been very open about my transition online, I talk nonstop about what testosterone has done to me, the downsides of testosterone, the things I like about testosterone, the things I don't like about testosterone. Like, there's no shortage of information on the internet about what testosterone can or might do to you, to your body, to your mental health, whatever. Whatever question you have about testosterone, there is probably a trans person out there who has made a video on it and posted it online. You can literally look up transgender male FTM HRT on YouTube, and like, I'm telling you right now, hundreds of guys will come up and they're all talking about how testosterone affected them. The first thing that they said in this video is that things your doctors won't tell you, which again, I found to be incredibly dishonest, because I went to Planned Parenthood to start testosterone, which is, Planned Parenthood isn't exactly known as being like the best place to start testosterone, but I went there because I was freshly 18 and I lived in Texas, so I knew that it was going to be really difficult to find an actual endocrinologist's clinic or office, whatever you want to say, who would be willing to give me testosterone, who would be willing to help me get on HRT. So I went to Planned Parenthood because they had an informed consent system in place. Now, if you don't know what informed consent is, basically, I went to Planned Parenthood, I had an appointment, I sat down with a doctor there, with a nurse there. The nurse slapped down a 6 to 8 page packet in front of me, front to back, full of information about what testosterone is, what it would do to my body, how I would have to administer it, so on and so forth. So there was in no way, shape, or form a lack of information about what I was getting myself into, essentially, and the doctors and nurses were always very upfront and very clear to me about what testosterone would do to me. If you felt like your doctor did not provide you with enough information about what going on testosterone would do to your body, it sounds like you just found a shitty doctor. And also, like, you could have asked questions. You could have Googled things before or after your appointment. So this just feels like poor planning on your part.
You get on testosterone and your vocal cords start to thicken, and it's kind of going to feel like you're choking, harder to breathe, or to talk.
It does not feel like you're choking or like it's hard to breathe when your voice starts to drop when you're on T. Yes, your vocal cords start to thicken. That's what makes your voice drop. But never once in my early transition when my voice started dropping did I feel like I couldn't breathe or I was constantly choking. I would honestly say that I never felt any sort of like actual pain from my voice dropping. The worst thing that I ever felt was, I remember kind of feeling like I constantly had a little tickle in my throat, like I constantly had something in the back of my throat, so I would clear my throat a lot, but I never felt pain or discomfort or anything of that sort. So maybe you just have a really low pain tolerance, I'm not sure, but the most discomfort I ever felt, like I said, was just like I had a little tickle in my throat. Like I had a little cough that wouldn't go away, but it lasted like 2 months.
The singing voice is going to be gone, you're not going to be able to sing at all.
I have never been able to sing, like in general, even before testosterone. I was in choir for like a year in school, a year or two, and then I discovered that I just could not hold a tune to save my life, and so I decided to quit. So this does not apply to me, but there are many transgender individuals who are on testosterone who have gone on to have successful musical careers. For example, Sasha Allen, the trans guy who went onto The Voice, literally competed on The Voice with his dad. No offense, he's on testosterone. He has a very successful musical career. Cavetown, again, a trans person who's been on testosterone with a very successful musical career. And good music as well. It's not like I'm promoting these guys even though their music sucks. Like, these are good singers. These are good musicians who are on testosterone. Like, maybe you just can't sing. Like, maybe you just suck at singing, and it's time for you to admit that to yourself. Kind of like that person who went viral a couple months ago for blaming testosterone for them going bald, but then later on it came out in a video that they have a history in their family of male pattern baldness. So it's not the testosterone that made you bald, it was the male pattern baldness that made you go bald. It's not the testosterone that made you unable to carry a tune, it was the fact that you can't sing for shit that made you unable to carry a tune. Again, it just seems really irresponsible to be spreading misinformation like this and talking in such black and white terms like, because this happened to me, it'll happen to you as well. Like, no. This next part really got on my nerves for multiple different reasons, but whatever. Let's roll the clip.
I'm gonna tell you about bottom growth. They're not gonna tell you that hurts bad, and it always will. It's gonna make everything sexual not feel pleasurable anymore.
Speak for your fucking self. I've made multiple videos about this. I've talked in multiple videos with my experience on testosterone about bottom growth, how it made me feel, how it felt physically, how it felt mentally, so on and so forth. So you're welcome to go on my channel if you're wanting more information. Please go search my channel. I've got tons of videos up, like I said. But for the sake of this video, I'll keep it brief. It was uncomfortable. It was a bit of a learning curve at first. You know, I had to learn to adjust to this new sensation down there, but it's literally just what I already had, but bigger. If anything, it became more sensitive after starting testosterone, so things feel more pleasurable. Again, speak for yourself. Quit making it seem like everything you're saying is an absolute and it will happen to everybody, because it's just not true. If you know anything about me and the type of content that I make, then you know that you can go on testosterone and you can have a very healthy, happy, pleasurable sex life. I'll just leave it at that.
You'll start to go through this thing called vaginal atrophy. That can cause sepsis, and that can kill you.
Okay, this whole video pissed me off. I keep saying this one pissed me off, but the entire video pissed me off. Vaginal atrophy can happen. Some individuals who start testosterone do experience vaginal atrophy. And yes, vaginal atrophy can cause sepsis, and yes, sepsis can kill you if left untreated. You left out a very important point in all of this, which is that vaginal atrophy is treatable, and there are ways to treat sepsis as well. Like, everything that you're bringing up is treatable if you literally just went to your doctor and said, hey, I'm experiencing these symptoms and I would like to no longer experience these symptoms. It's not like if you get vaginal atrophy from testosterone, it's an immediate death sentence, like you're 1 foot in the grave. Like, it's treatable. Nadine is just really not talking about things in a realistic way. They're just making everything about their own experience and trying to project their experience onto everybody else's experience, and that's just not fair. It's not responsible.
Fertility is most definitely going to be affected if you were on testosterone.
Okay, obviously, yes, this is a big deal, and it's been proven fertility is affected if you're on testosterone. But again, there are ways to get around the fertility issue, such as going off testosterone and taking estrogen supplements to freeze your eggs, and then going back on testosterone. There's things that you can do to kind of get around that.
Testosterone for a long time can cause issues with your urinary tract. You're gonna lose control of your bladder. You're gonna pee yourself a lot.
I have never once in my entire fucking time online heard of anybody on testosterone saying that testosterone made them unable to control their bladder and they started pissing themselves. So congratulations to Nadine. You have given me a new experience. I'm grateful to you for that. Because I've never experienced that, and because I've never heard anybody else talk about experiencing that before, I can't say, oh my god, this will not happen to you. But again, Nadine cannot say that it will for sure happen to somebody else, because testosterone affects everybody differently. So there's no right for you to sit there and say this will happen to you for sure. Just like there's no right for me to say this will not happen to you for sure. Everybody's body will react differently to testosterone. So it's very irresponsible. I've said this over and over again in the video. Really, it's just disappointing. It's just really, really frustrating and disappointing to see a detransitioner come on and spread these lies and this misinformation, pardon me. Before this video was deleted, it had 3 million views and counting. It was really, really blowing up, going viral. So all of this misinformation that Nadine was talking about in the video was being seen by millions of people, literally millions of people, whether they were transgender or not, whether they were on testosterone already or thinking about it. And it could have seriously deterred a young trans person from seeking life-saving medical treatment in the form of HRT. It could have seriously made a pre-T trans person sit back and go, oh, I don't want those things to happen to me. That's really scary. So I'm just not going to take testosterone. If I had seen that video when I was pre-T and I was doing research on what testosterone would do to me and how it would affect my body, that would have scared the living shit out of me if I had seen that video. Granted, thankfully, I had trans friends online and in real life that were on testosterone already, and I could have asked, is this real? Will this actually happen to me? And they would have been able to reassure me. But what about people who don't have those sorts of resources? They would have been scared, obviously, and I don't blame them. That video is scary. There's a lot of information that would have made me go, holy shit, like that's fucked up. Nadine could have and should have, honestly, made the video and framed it in a different light. They should have taken that information and phrased it in a way that was just them saying, this was my experience on testosterone, this is why I stopped taking it, this is why I decided to detransition, instead of framing it as something, again, that was just like absolute, that was so black and white, this will happen to you, this is what they're not telling you. It feels very malignant. It feels very, almost like they were trying to like fearmonger a little bit about what testosterone will do to you. And that's kind of a common theme that I've seen recently with detransitioners online. It just kind of falls in line with these detransitioners that are just fearmongering and spreading all of this malignant misinformation about testosterone and hormone replacement therapy in general. And yeah, it's just super irresponsible. It's just so disappointing to see, because there are also detransitioners out there who are putting in good work online and spreading their stories in a positive way and in a way that is not harmful to the transgender community. But yeah, that's basically all that I wanted to say. I just wanted to come on here and reassure anybody who maybe had seen that TikTok circulating around that that stuff for the most part is not true. It most likely will not happen to you. But all of these things are points that you can discuss with your doctor before you even start testosterone, and they'll be able to reassure you, they'll be able to take a look at your blood work, your family history, and things like that, and they'll be able to let you know whether or not that is a risk that you need to be worried about when starting testosterone. That's all that I had to say in this video, so if you guys are still watching at this point, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Let me know in the comments of this video what you thought of Nadine's video. I'm especially interested to hear if any of you guys have just lost complete control of your bladder. You're just incontinent now because of testosterone. So if testosterone makes you piss yourself, sound off in the comments down below. Would love to hear your story. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.